Now I'm going to the fourth and the last from this class, and the last of the virtue of Suratul Faatiha. What is that? The last one is that annaha ruqyatun shafiyatun bi'idhnillah. Annaha ruqyatun shafiya. Ruqyatun. Now most of us know what ruqya means. Ruqya simply means that exorcism that's been recited when somebody is under spell. So you see our malams trying to recite some certain azkar upon him, some surah upon him, in order to cast that spell away from him, in order to cast that jinn. When somebody is affected by a jinn, he is being prayed over. That is ruqya. Not only that, when someone is sick, we also do ruqya for such. And when somebody is stung by what is it called, bee, stung by a scorpion, or bitten by a snake, we also do ruqya for him. Now, how do we know that this surah is also ruqya in its own? In a hadith reported by Imam Bukhari in his collection, and Abu Sa'id al-Khudri, the hadith of Abu Sa'id al-Khudri, reported by Abu Sa'id al-Khudri, radiyallahu anhu qala, he said, may Allah be pleased with him, انطلق نفر من أصحاب رسول الله صلى الله عليه وسلم. He said, a group among companions of the Prophet صلى الله عليه وسلم, في سفرة سافروها, they dispersed. They went on a journey, on a particular journey that they embarked on. حتى نزلوا على حي من أحياء العرب, until they arrived in a community, in one of the communities of the Arabs. Fastadafuhum. When they arrived in that community, they went to the people. Fastadafuhum. Then they requested that they should take them in as their guests. Since they are travelers, when they arrived in that community, they went to them and requested that please take us in as your guests, so that you treat us like your guests. Fabaw and yudayifuhum. Allahu Akbar. But this particular group of people, they refused to take them in as their guests. Then suddenly, the leader of that particular place, community, was stung by a scorpion. Or was what? In another narration, he was bitten by a snake. Allah Akbar. Then, فَسَعَوْ لَهُ بِكُلِّ شَيْءٍ لَا يَنْفَعُهُ شَيْءٍ. His people quickly rallied around to make sure they could get something beneficial to cure him, but all their efforts proved abortive. They could not cure him. They tried, they could not cure him. فَقَالَ بَعْضُهُمْ, until some group of them, among them, some of them suggested that what? لَوْ أَتَيْتُمْ هَؤُلَاءِ رَهْتَ الَّذِينَ نَزَلُوا. What if you approach those group of men who just arrived the community? لَعَلَّهُ أَنْ يَكُونَ عِنْدَ بَعْضِهِمْ شَيْءٍ. Perhaps one of them could have something that may benefit our leader. We don't know. Let's approach them. فَأَتَوْهُمْ. Then they approach them. Now they are going back to the people whom they have refused honoring or even receiving as their guests. They are going back to them. Now, فَأَتَوْهُمْ, they went to them. فَقَالُوا, then they said, يَا أَيُّهَا الرَّهْتُ, oh you group of men, إِنَّ سَيِّدَنَا لُدِغْ, our leader has just been stung or has been beaten. وَسَعَوْنَا لَهُ بِكُلِّ شَيْءٍ, and we have made a lot of effort. We have tried all our efforts to make sure we cure him, but nothing is working. هَلْ إِنْدَ أَحَدٍ مِّنْكُمْ مِنْ شَيْءٍ, does any one of you has any cure, any remedy, anything that can benefit him? فَقَالَ بَعْضُهُمْ, then one of them said, it is said in another narration that the one who is going to be talking now is the same narrator of the hadith, which is Abu Sa'id al-Khudri. He was actually among them. So he said that, Wallahi inni la urqi. Yes, of course. Indeed, I can perform ruqya. I can do ruqya. I can pray over him. Walakin, Wallahi, laqad istadafnakum. But you know that by Allah, when we came to this community, we requested that you take us in as your guests. But you refused to do that. Ma ana birakin hatta taj'alu lana ju'la. For that, I'm not going to be doing ruqya for your leader until you state until, or you stipulate an amount for our wage. Until you're going to make a pay, you will tell us that you will pay so amounts. فَصَلَحُوهُمْ عَلَى قَطِيءٍ مِنَ الْغَنَمِ. These people, they agreed. They don't have the option. They agreed. فَصَلَحُوهُمْ عَلى قَطِيءٍ مِنَ الْغَنَمِ. Then they agreed with them that they are going to be paying them flock of sheep. To be paying them a group of sheep. Now, فَانْطَلَقَ يَدْفُلُ عَلَيْهِ وَيَقْرَأَ الْحَمْدُ لِلَّهِ رَبِّ الْعَالَمِينَ. Then Abu Sa'id al-Khudri went straight to this to their leader who was under this under this situation, and he started puffing on him. He was saying something. He was spitting on him, light spit, like puffing. Then he was reciting Alhamdulillahi Rabbil Alameen, meaning he was reciting Suratul Faatiha. Then قال فانطلق فكأنه نشط من عقال. Then suddenly this their leader, who was under this situation that was very weak and he could not help himself, got up. فكأنه نشط من عقال, and he was as if he was just being freed from a chain, as if he was tied down earlier and now he's being freed. He was now agile. فانطلق يمشي ما به من قلبة. Then he started walking. He suddenly started walking as if, and there was no form of weakness seen in him. No trace of disease was seen in him. He became a healthy man. Subhanallah. فَأَوْفُوهُمْ جُعْلَهُمُ الَّذِي صَالَحُوهُمْ عَلَيْهِ. Then these people, they paid them their wage, which they have earlier stipulated for them, which they have earlier set aside for them. فَقَالَ بَعْضُهُمْ. Then when they did this, they dispersed, and one of the companions of the Prophet who was present said, let's share this. Let's share this wage, this sheep amongst ourselves, so that each person can have his own sheep. فَقَالَ الَّذِي رَقَى. But the one who performed the Ruqya said, لَا تَفْعَلُوا. Don't do that. حَتَّى نَأْتِيَ النَّبِيَّ صَلَى اللَّهُ عَلَيْهِ وَسَلَّمْ فَنَذْكُرَ لَهُ مَكَانٍ. Until we go back to the prophets and we mention to him what has the scenario that has just occurred. How we went to a place, they refused to take us in as their guests, and suddenly their leader was being stung, and we prayed over him and he was cured, and how we collected this wage. Let us go back to the prophets. Whatever, then we will now wait for whatever he's going to command us to do. Whether he will allow us to consume this or for us to return it back to these people. Subhanallah. Allah Akbar. Look at the Sahaba. There are people who are always ready to follow the command of the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam. Then they return back. فَقَدِمُوا عَلَى رَسُولِ اللَّهِ صَلَّى اللَّهُ عَلَيْهِ وَسَلَّمْ. They return back to the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam. فَذَكَرُوا لَهُ. Then they mentioned the scenario that has just happened and they told him everything. فَقَالَ رَسُولُ اللَّهِ صَلَّى اللَّهُ عَلَيْهِ وَسَلَّمْ. Then our messenger, may the blessings and peace of Allah be upon him, said, وَمَا يُدْرِيكَ أَنَّهَا رُقْيَا. What made you know that this particular Suratul Faatiha is Ruqya? What made you know that when somebody is in this hard situation, this surah can be recited over him? In another narration, he was told by Abu Sa'id al-Khudri that it was just ilham. It was an inspiration from Allah. Then the Prophet said, قَدْ أَصَبْتُمْ. You have done what is just right. You have done the right thing. Allahu Akbar. Then he said, Ekosimu, now can go on and share it. وَضْرِبُوا لِي مَعَكُمْ سَهْمًا. And count me among the shareholders, among those who are going to be recipients of this wage. Allahu Akbar. Scholars have said that the Prophet told them to count him among those who will be receiving from this profit or from this gain, because he wants them to be free. He wants their mind to be free when they are consuming it, because they know that whatever the Prophet is consuming, it is surely halal for them. Allahu Akbar. Prophet فَضَحِكَ رَسُولُ اللَّهِ صَلَّى اللَّهُ عَلَيْهِ وَسَلَّمْ. Then the Prophet laughed. After saying this, he laughed. Allahu Akbar. We ask Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to grant us understanding. So quickly, one of the virtues of Suratul Faatiha is peculiarities. Number one, nur, it is light that was given to our prophet and no prophet before him. One al-munajat, it when you recite it during your prayer, there is private chat between you and Allah. And also, there is no prayer for one who does not recite Suratul Faatiha during the prayer. And lastly, that it is Ruqya, that it is a prayer to recite over one who is sick. Until we meet again, Subhanakallahumma bihamdik, ashhadu an la ilaha illa ant, astaghfiruka wa atubu ilayk. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuhu.